Let's go up to page 5 and 6 in your book there, and let's keep the same audio track, track 1. And what we'd like to do here is put all three of the A pedal minor and the D lever minor and the B and C pedal minor all together as one thought, which is really what it ought to be. We've kind of separated them and kept them as individuals, and they're not. They're all E minor. 3A and 8D and 10B and C are all E minor, and we can use them all in one song and as one idea and as one phrase almost. On the board behind me, I've kind of done a little quick review so we know which way we're going. So let's go right to the board and you'll see what I'm talking about. We have taken that E open up to the 3A to get the E minor. We used that. And remember, we went from 7A and B up to the 8D, and we've used that. And we used the 12 back 2 frets to the 10B and C. So all three of these, the 3A, the 8D, and the 10B and C, come out to be E minor. And they're not different E minors. They're all equally as good, so we can use them. This one gives us pretty good licks, and this one gives us pretty good licks, and this is not too bad. The 8D is not a bad idea if we'll use the first string chromatic, which we'll see. So what we want to do here is take these ideas, and we're going to put them in a song that I created, kind of wrote for this course, called the 3 minor stomp, and that's what you see on page 5 and 6. Let's go to the guitar, and you'll see what I'm talking about, and go in your book and cue your track up there, and we'll play some little melody lines along with this thing. On page 5 there, the top line, the very first thing is that when we're playing the G chord, we're going to play this little phrase against the G rather than just hold the chord. It'll start with that G there, and then back and forth between the first string and the fourth string, and then out to the other G. So we get a little phrase that sounds like this. In time, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Now the song is going to change to E minor. We want to keep the same exact phrase in our head, but we're going to play something that fits against the E minor. So we go to 3 with the A pedal, and we're going to drop down to strings 4, 5, and 6, obviously. And we're going to play the second string chromatic against the 5th string. And that's going to be our E minor phrase. Identical to the G, but it's just down 1. And you can let them ring. It doesn't take great technique to do this one. So here's that top line, and it's about what the whole song is about. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, E minor. Now, taking the next line, we're going to play very much the same phrase, but we're going to do it with pedals up on 10 with both pedals down. We're going to come off of that A pedal and just rock. And then we're going to go back and use that 8D for the E minor and use the first string chromatic there. So here's the whole first page. Page 5 goes 1, 2, 3, 4, E minor, G, E minor. Now let's go to page 6 because it goes to the chord of C, and we go no pedals. That's easy. It's the same little phrase. It's just backwards from what we've been doing. And here comes the fun part. B and C pedals for the E minor. We're going to squeeze in the pedals on 10. Pick it and let them off. Come down a set of strings and squeeze them in. Nice phrase. This makes a little E minor sounding melody or a scale. Pretty sounding. So here we go. That top line on page 6 goes E minor. Now the last line goes down to a C, so we go to C on 8. And here's a new idea. We're going to use the B and C pedals right there on 8. And we find that that makes a scale tone or a scale step using B and C pedals. We might as well learn that. We're using B and C pedals. Or it can go backwards. Kind of improvise any way you want to with that. And then we're going to use 2 of those E minor positions, the 8D up to 10B and C. And then we're going to jump down to 5 with the B and C pedals, which is not really what we've been talking about. This is like using a minor chord as a 7th or 9th. We're going to go the old Ralph Mooney and the Lloyd Green style of a D to a D7. Many times you've heard that on the record. It's not exactly a minor chord here. It's being used as a 7th or a 9th. And it'll sound different when we play it along with the track. So here's the whole thing in slow motion from page 5 to page 6. 1, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And this is where it'll start and go right back and repeat to the top of page 5. Okay, we've got that. Let's play along with the rhythm track. This is the 3 minor stomp along with track number 1.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Second line. Page 6. Start again. Second line. Page 6. Start again. E minor, G, E minor, C, E minor, C, E minor, D, and E. That's it. There's a lot of technique in there. Obviously, I changed things around and played to my own little taste and my style. And you can improvise over these main positions that we talked about here and find all kinds of new licks and new ideas that maybe you can use in a lot of other songs too. This is not a bad little instrumental in itself. It's kind of an easy tempo too. So take this much, and remember we're only using really 1 minor here. We're using what we call the 1 to the 6 minor or the G to the E minor. What we're going to do when we come back is take up the other relative minors that go along with the key of G. There are others that are relative to this key, the 2 minor and the 3 minor, for instance. So we have only one idea in mind, and make sure you have these things well implanted before you try to venture off into what we're doing next. So maybe you want to stop right here and run through all this thing and kind of review it and make sure you understand where we're getting these minors, how we're playing them, and kind of get some of these little melodies in mind, because you can have a lot of fun with these as we go along. But it'd be nice to have them where you're comfortable with them too. All right, we'll be right back and we'll take the 2 minor and the 5.